Welcome to your new student workshop for 2025. We are excited to have you here. We have a great team from the Honors College who we're going to be introducing in a second. Out here, able to share all the wonderful things that we have in store for you as an Honors College student. So this is a two-part workshop. Um, the first part is going to be us sharing information about different topics, such as advising, career engagement, study abroad, undergraduate research. And then the second part is going to be breakout sessions, where if you want to learn more about any of these wonderful things, you can choose, well, you'll need to choose like two different workshops. So just keep in mind that if there are certain questions maybe that you don't necessarily get answered during this first part, it's okay because you're going to hear more detailed information during the breakout sessions. You'll notice here, we are checking in for attendance. What you'll need to do is this being the first of 5 checkpoints. So there's going to be 5 checkpoints throughout the workshop today between the first session and our breakout sessions. And when you submit the checkpoint, you should get an email confirmation that you did it for your own records, right? So if you don't get that confirmation, it's quite possible that you inputted your email incorrectly. And that's okay. You know, don't freak out. Just make sure like that you end up submitting all your checkpoints. And so I'm going to leave this up here while I have the staff introduce themselves so that you have some additional time to check in here for attendance this morning. So while that is happening, let me see, I'm going to go down our lovely panelist list here. So Dean Markowitz.
Good morning, everyone. We are really excited to have you joining the Honors College. Welcome to FIU. Welcome to the Honors College. It's going to be a wonderful year for you. This is a really exciting time for the university. This is the first year in which one of our own graduates is starting out as the president of the university, President Nunez. Make sure you find out about her. Really glad to have you all here. I'm the Dean for Curriculum and Faculty. If you have questions about your classes, if you have questions about your faculty, that's when you might want to contact me. But we also have a wonderful staff, all of which are happy to help. Thank you.
Thank you. Jamima.
Hey, good morning. I'm Jamima Judy. I'm one of the honors advisors here. I work with mostly our STEM pre-health students.
Brenda.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Brenda Luna. I'm the Assistant Director for Academic Advising, and I also advise students who are in our early assurance pipeline programs. And welcome, everyone.
Nicole.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Nicole Patrick. I'm the Study Abroad Program Coordinator. And so if you're interested in earning your honors credits abroad, we'll be in contact.
Thank you. Alan.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Alan Varela, the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Research and Academic Support Services with Honors College, and I look forward to meeting all of you and discussing more about ARCH and undergraduate research.
Thank you. Ezekiel.
Hey everyone, my name is Ezekiel Cuevas. I am the non-STEM advisor for honor students, and I also advise pre-law students in particular.
Andrea.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Andrea Cuadra. I'm your career specialist and manage the Honors College Career Center and look forward to helping you with your career goals.
Laura.
Hi, everyone. My name is Laura Reyes, and I'm the admissions manager and recruiter for the Honors College.
Madeline.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm the academic advisor, and I focus specifically on engineering and CARTA students. Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you all for introducing yourselves. You are going to be able to hear a lot more from them and about their different areas as we progress during the workshop. Here, so as I mentioned earlier, we do have this in 2 parts. The first part is our Honors College overview, where we're going to be hearing about the curriculum. I know you all are excited about that, learning about what it is that you're going to be taking as an honors college student. We're also going to learn about undergraduate research, our study abroad programs, our career opportunities and engagement. And so after that, you will hear more in terms of the breakout sessions, and we'll discuss that as we move forward. You already met the team, but I'm just throwing out here, if you haven't joined our Instagram yet, feel free to do that. We post a lot of information on there so that you can learn all about what's happening in honors. And okay, Dr. Luna.
Once again, good morning, everyone. So many of you are probably very well versed in the benefits of the Honors College, but just as a reminder, some of the benefits that students really enjoy are our priority registration. So keep an eye out this fall semester. So when you're going to be enrolling for your spring classes, and yes, you'll be within the first ones in the university to have the option to enroll for classes. You will also have, in addition to your major advisor, you're going to have an honors advisor. You will be assigned your honors advisor about the 5th week of the fall semester. And with the honors advisor, you're going to be talking with us about your honors course options, and we will help you with any questions you have about, your next couple of years here with us at the Honors College. We also have honor-specific scholarships, so make sure you keep an eye out on our website and also in Academic Works for any honor-specific scholarships. And then for those of you who really like to check out books from the library and use the library, you do have extended privileges. We also have exclusive housing spaces, so make sure that you always fill everything on time because the early bird gets the worm, or the room as we say. And we also have career opportunities, and you'll hear more about these from our career specialist. And then also we have opportunities for you to become involved and take advantage of all the resources that we have here at FIU. And then also we do have some pilot programs that you can learn about in my breakout session, and we will be hosting information sessions throughout the fall and spring semester about these programs. So let's meet the honors advising team, which you met a couple of moments ago. So our advising team consists of myself. I'm the assistant director, and as I said before, I also help our students who are in our early assurance pipeline programs. We have Ezequiel Cuevas, who is the advisor for our non-STEM students and those students who are self-identified as pre-law. We also have 2 advisors for our STEM students. Jamima Jadi focuses on the students who have indicated that they have pre-med, pre-health interests, and Madeline helps all the other students who are mostly in the engineering or CARTA tracks. Once again, don't forget to self-identify, take a screenshot of here, so that way, when it comes time for us to identify which advisor we should place you with, so please let us know your pre-professional interest. If you're pre-med, pre-vet, pre-PA, pre-pharmacy, or pre-law, let us know, so that way we can put you in the right honors advisor caseload, because maybe you're an English major who is also a pre-med major, so that way we can have you in Jamima Jadi's caseload. Or let's say you're an engineering major who's also wants to be a lawyer, then that way we can put you with Ezequiel. So this is what we were all here for, right? What are the honors classes that I will be taking? So you see here that we have 2 routes. We have for our freshmen who just started out right from high school, and you're starting out in our year 1 classes. Make sure that you've completed your college credits earn sheet accurately, because we are working with your advising and registration orientation advisors to make sure that you are enrolled in the accurate honors class. So for the most part, our first year students, freshmen, will be taking 3 years of honors. You'll see here that we have our classes broken down by fall, spring, fall, spring. So in theory, you could be done by your junior year with all of your honors courses. So for our freshmen who are coming in, you notice that in the fall semester, you will likely be taking 2 honors classes. IDH 1931, which is our Intro to Honors course, and then also our IDH 1001, which is our first year honors seminar. So notice how I said first year. So you'll notice that in the spring semester, you will be in IDH 1002. What's really special about our honors seminar the first year, it's year-long, meaning you're going to have the same professor and same classmates, same days and times for both the fall and the spring semester. So it's a continuous class. So that's something that's very wonderful because you get to meet your professor and your classmates. So when the springtime comes, you already know at least 20 plus some of your classmates, or even 60 because we have rooms of pods as well. So then after your first year, you're going to have 2 more years to complete in the Honors College. And this is when you start your upper division courses. So you're going to have several options, but you will see here how we have everything indicated fall, spring, and you're going to be taking 1 honors class per semester. But when you go into upper division, you have options. You can choose our upper division seminars, which are IDH 3034 in the fall semester, or IDH 3035 in the spring semester. We also have, for those of you who are performing research or are part of a research lab, we also have Advanced Research and Creativity in Honors, known as ARCH, which you'll learn more about the different tracks from Mr. Varela in a couple of moments. And then for those of you who are interested in study abroad, notice that study abroad is in the spring semester, and actually the second course, it's in the summer. So study abroad is 2 classes, and you're going to learn more from Ms. Nicole Patrick about these programs. So just have in mind that for upper division, you do have different options. And the goal is you're going to be completing a total of 4 upper division courses, 1 per semester. And that's why you need at least, in the upper division world, 2 years to complete it. So a typical course schedule for students who are part of the Honors College, who are freshmen who come in, is first year, they'll do the 1931-1001 in the first semester, then move on to 1002 in the spring semester. Then the following year, they most likely will take an upper division seminar, and there's over 70 different topics then during this fall semester, so there's a lot to pick from. In the spring, many students do like seminars, so they'll take another seminar. Then for year 3, they have the option. Many students do like to take the seminar since there's so many options. So yes, you can take 2 different IDH 3034s. Notice how I said different, meaning you can't take the same topic twice. So when you look through PantherSoft, you'll see that when you enter IDH 3034, you're going to get over 70 options for this semester. So you'll notice that it's important that you look at the class note so you know what topics you're taking. So overall, our freshmen who come in are going to be taking 3 years, 6 semesters of honors college classes. And, I do recommend for you to take a screenshot of this. We do have this information in our honors website. And also when you meet with your honors advisor, we can go over so we can come up with your individualized plan. Then for everyone else who's coming in, we do have freshmen who do come in with their associate's degree. And then we have students who are transferring to our institution. And then we have honors students who started at FIU and are just starting with us in this fall 2025. For all of you, it's a 2-year program. So it's 4 semesters of honors classes. So as you'll see here, it's very similar to what the first year students that I just explained. So all of you are going to start in a fall course, most likely a seminar, a 3034 in the fall. And then in the spring, you do have options to continue taking seminars, or maybe if you're interested in performing research, you can take ARCH or study abroad. And once again, for your second year, you have the same options. Overall, you need to take 4 upper division courses, 1 per semester. You can't take 2 at once. And something that you have to have in mind is you'll notice study abroad is for the spring semester. So if you're thinking of taking study abroad, you will need to take a fall course. So a seminar would be recommended. So take this moment right now to take a screenshot so you can see your course options coming forward. So you'll notice that you're going to be doing at least 2 years or 4 semesters in the Honors College when you're a freshman who has come in with their dual enrollment, or maybe a magical combination of the accelerated credits, or you're a transfer student or a current student who's starting out with all of us. So here are the equivalencies. So as I said, our first year students, many will take the IDH 1931 course, which is Intro to Honors, which is also the equivalent of FIU's first year experience. So it's one of your core curriculum courses. IDH 1001 will be equated as your communications requirement, which is going to be the equivalent of SPC 2608, public speaking. And then IDH 1002 in the spring will satisfy a humanities group 2 and the golden rule writing requirement. Then our upper division seminar courses, IDH 3034 and 3035, will satisfy the global learning requirements of the university. And then study abroad and ARCH, they just count as general upper division electives for your major, in addition to satisfying your honors requirements. So as I said before, there are many options for the upper division honors seminar courses. We do have on our website, so if you scan the QR code, you will find that we have them based on different categories or tiles. Since our classes are interdisciplinary by nature, you will find the courses that they may be housed in many of the different groups or pairings, right? For example, adult topics and narrative, you will most likely find that one, health and human behavior. You have performance under pressure that could come under business entrepreneurship. So it is your option which topic you're going to be taking in upper division seminar. You have the freedom. Take courses that interest you. Always look at the course class description, which when you click on the tiles, you are going to be able to see all the different classes and a brief description and who teaches the class and the modality. So just make sure that you take a screenshot, go to this website and make it one of your favorites. So that way, when you're going to be enrolling this semester and incoming semesters, you know where to find your different options. And once again, these courses are in different modalities. They can be in person, hybrid, or online. Also to note, there are some classes that are specialized. So it's important that you read the class note because some of them do need permission. So for example, for our Intro to Honors, there are some specialized courses, sections that are for pre-med students, pre-law, business. But when you look at the class note, it does indicate that. Also for Arch and Study Abroad, you will not enroll yourself because there's an application process which you're going to learn about. And there's a handful of seminars that it is by department or professor permission, but in the notes section, once again, the instructions are provided. Overall, always click and look at all the information that's provided for each class and section. So overall, everyone who's starting out in the fall 2025 semester, which is all of you here at the Honors College, need to enroll in honors class this fall semester. So our first year students, when you've attended your A&R or will attend your A&R course, you will be enrolling in your honors class, and your advising registration advisor has worked with us to make sure that you're in the accurate course based on the college credits earned sheet that you completed. So you're most likely going to be in an IDH 1931 and 1001 combo, but in case maybe you took your first year experience as a dual enrollment student, then you would only take the seminar. So make sure that you log on to your Panther Success Network, and you can even find our notes there. And also, so once again, everyone in this call will have to enroll in a fall course. So for those students who are coming in as transfer students or current FIU students, you will enroll in an upper division honors seminar in IDH 3034. Just the options when you log on after this call, in a couple of days, you're going to be activated as honors and the system will let you enroll. So let's recap. Our freshmen who start off in 1001 into 1931 will be taking 3 years of honors classes, for a total of 6 semesters, right? Everyone else is coming in. It's a 2-year program, 4 semesters. So, but everyone's going to be taking 4 upper division courses by the time that they graduate from the Honors College. Have in mind that Arch does have a 0 credit option. So when you learn more about Arch and you're interested in Arch, make sure that you confer with your honors advisor to make sure that you're taking the appropriate number of credits to make sure that you meet our requirements. So once again, our freshmen are probably going to be taking 3 years, 6 semesters of honors college courses, and our transfer students and our freshmen who come in with their AA are going to be taking 4 upper division courses in 4 semesters, so only 1 per semester. And once again, you can't repeat the same topic twice, so just make sure that when you're taking, let's say if it's the same course number, IDH 3034, IDH 3034 is offered in the fall and summer semester, whereas IDH 3035 is offered in the spring and summer B semesters. But they're all upper division seminar courses. So the goal is you're going to be taking different seminars, but they are all different topics. So what does it take to be in good standing, academic standing in the Honors College? So the goal is that you enroll for your honors classes and that you maintain continuous enrollment. So our freshmen who come in, they're going to be taking their 1001 and 1002 courses. After that, you're going to need the 4 upper division courses. So you cannot be more than 3 semesters after your 1002 without taking your next honors course. We do encourage that you complete your honors courses, fall, spring each year, so that way you can complete them, and that way you do not run the risk of being inactivated for being non-compliant in enrolling in classes for more than 3 semesters. Everyone else is starting off in the upper division 334 world. You need to enroll in a fall course and complete your 4 courses by the time that you graduate and not leave more than 3 semesters between your courses. So all of you will be enrolling in this fall 2025 semester. So if you have any questions, this is when you're going to be meeting with your honors advisor, or you can be reaching out to them when they get assigned through your PSN if you have any questions about when will my next class be. But our first year students, just remember your seminar is year long, fall and spring, this fall 2025 and spring of 2026. So you have that covered. Everyone else, just make sure that you always see your options for your courses for the spring semester. For those of you who are interested in study abroad, the spring semester may be viable and an option for you. Another thing to have note is, once again, students who drop from an honors course are automatically dropping out of the honors college. So after the drop period, which is the first week of classes, if you do decide to drop your honors class, you will be dropping from the honors college, and you will need to complete a form, so that way we can help you drop your course. There are a few exceptions, so it's very important that you do converse and keep in contact with your honors advisor if there are any extenuating circumstances. So once again, it's important that you keep clear communication with your honors advisor in the event that you have extenuating circumstances that may lead to you dropping your honors class. So let's talk about grades. So all honors college students need to pass their honors classes with A, B's, or C's. Any grade below a D is a non-passing grade. And at the end of the semester, once grades post, if it's identified that you have not passed an honors class, unfortunately, the result will be dismissal from the honors college because you need to be doing well in our courses. You also need to maintain your overall FIU GPA at a 3.3 to be in good standing. So what happens if your FIU cumulative GPA falls below a 3.3? Once the grades post and it is identified that your overall FIU GPA has fallen below the 3.3 threshold, you will be placed in honors academic probation, which is 3 semesters. So you have a whole year to raise your GPA. So for example, let's say for any reason you do have a missteps in this fall 2025 semester and you get placed in probation, you have until fall 2026 grades to bring up your cumulative GPA to a 3.3. So you have a whole year to work on improving your GPA, and you will be meeting with your honors college advisor to come up with strategies to make sure that you're going to be meeting our 3.3 GPA requirement. Also, to have to note is after you've been in probation once, you can't be in probation once again. Meaning, let's say that you do get out of probation in fall 2026, but then in spring of 27, your GPA drops below the 3.3. That would be a second time that you are below the threshold, and that would result in being dismissed because the goal is for you to progress and to do well in your university courses. So you would not be part of the honors college, so you can focus on improving your academics and make sure that you meet all of the GPAs for graduate school and professional school. So let's talk about happier news, right? You're all here, we're starting up, but let's talk about graduation. So what are the graduation requirements for the honors college? Well, you need to complete your bachelor's degree requirements. So your major requirements, complete your honors college curriculum. Remember, you need to get grades above a C. You need to also complete honors engagement and volunteer hours, which you'll learn more in a bit. And also, once you've applied for graduation for your major, the honors college graduation team will reach out to you with the honors graduation application in which you would complete. And also you need to maintain a 3.0 IDH honors GPA. So when you look at your Panther degree audit, you'll see that the honors section is going to have a little section that's going to tell you your honors GPA. So you need at least a 3.8, which is a B average. And then you are going to need an overall cumulative GPA of 3.3 or higher to complete our requirements. So once again, to graduate from the honors college is you need to complete your classes for your major, for honors, your service and engagement. Make sure that you complete the application when the email is sent to you. Maintain your honors GPA, your IDH courses at a 3.0, and your overall FIU cumulative GPA at a 3.3. And what will you get? You get a transcript notation indicating that you graduated through the honors college. You'll also get to attend not 1, but 2 ceremonies. So before commencement, which is the university-wide graduation ceremony, we do have the honors college assembly, which is held a week or 2 before commencement, where you receive your golden tassel, your medal, and your honors certificate. and you get to bring your family and celebrate not once, but twice. Oh, once again. So our goals for all of you who are here in a couple of years to be in commencement, wearing your honors tassel and your gold medal and representing us in this wonderful day of your experience, and then also to have in your transcript the Honors College notation, which would say graduated through the Honors College. And now I would like to hand off to Alan Varela, the Assistant Director for Arch. Alan?
Thank you so much, Dr. Luna. And hello, everyone again. As mentioned before, I am Alan Varela, the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Research and Academic Support Services with FIU Honors College. And today I'd like to talk to all of you about the Advanced Research and Creativity and Honors Program, which provides many opportunities for all Honors College students to engage in research, creative, and innovative endeavors. Next slide, please. One of the questions that students typically ask me is why I should give Arch or undergraduate research, creative, innovative endeavors a try. And so you get the chance to work with FIU faculty on these projects. So you're not by yourself. You will have guidance from your faculty mentor and even have a chance to obtain a opportunity in contributing to a faculty mentor's ongoing research, creative, or innovative work. This is open to all Honors College students, whether this is your first year or fourth year, or you'll be coming in with external credits, transfer credits, where you have that opportunity to be in the Arch program, and it's open to all majors because research, creativity, and innovation is everywhere and for everyone. I do not care what the news article may say otherwise. I do not care what the social media post may show otherwise. I do not care what the influencer with nearly 20 million subscribers and gets over 10 million views on their videos may also tell you otherwise. Research, creativity, and innovation is everywhere and for everyone. And I can show you if in my breakout session if you would like to know more about the Arch program. And we offer many ways for you to participate. And you can take down the URL honors.fiu.edu/arch or scan the QR code if you would like to see the Arch webpage. But what I'd like to also show are the several pathways we offer for Honors College students. Next slide, please. Now, a majority of these pathways are available for up to 3 credits per semester. Now, honors in the major is only for 0 credit because this is an opportunity for you where if you will be engaging in rigorous research, creative, or innovative endeavors that'll be counted in your major, such as the undergraduate research chemistry course, honors in biology, the psychology honors thesis, the undergraduate research associate program in business. There are many others available where instead of taking an honors seminar, you could apply to the honors in the major Arch pathway with the work you would be doing in the rigorous research, creative, or innovative non-honors college course. Now, if let's say, though, you won't be planning to do that, we still offer several pathways where you can still work with a faculty mentor and engage in said endeavor, such as the Arch thesis pathway, which is year-long, can be taken for either 0 or 3 credits per semester, and is giving you the opportunity where you see for yourself what the experience is with doctoral candidates and even postdoc fellows on how to write a proposal for funding or for a publication, how you write a thesis that is on the same level of a graduate student's thesis, and even get the opportunity to present at the annual Undergraduate Research at FIU conference, and even be invited to publish in the FIU Undergraduate Research Journal. I'll talk more about that in my breakout session. If, let's say, you are not yet thinking about writing a thesis where you're going to collect your own data, you will still be able to apply for the Arch proposal pathway, where you, instead of writing the thesis, you can write a proposal based off of your ideas or how you could contribute to the faculty mentor or how you plan to contribute to your faculty mentor's ongoing work. Now, you may come to me and say, well, this is all interesting, but I'm not thinking of a scientific paper with data collection. I want to write a play. I want to make a painting. I want to think about my next innovative product that's going to revolutionize society and the industry. I have other ideas of where I'm not really going to be doing an experiment. So we have the Arch project pathway. You could, for this pathway, write an extended literature review, a theory paper, a policy position paper. You can propose your own artifact. One student made a cookbook that she explained was showing more reliable, healthy recipes than what was published on the market at the time. There was another one who made a portfolio showing architectural designs with color patterns that elicited positive moods from apartment tenants, and she wanted to expand this for commercial buildings. So you have that chance to propose your artifact for the Arch program. But if you're thinking, well, I'm not really planning to do research yet because I really don't know what I want to research, create, or investigate. I am still trying to figure that out. So we have the Arch apprenticeship pathway that focuses more on self-reflection and writing then at the end of whether or not you've decided to move forward, working with the mentor and continuing to contribute with their research, or if you've decided, well, it was interesting, I don't really care for this though, so I'd like to move on to another mentor or maybe into another discipline entirely. That happens sometimes. So, and we just ask students to be honest with their reflections and feedback. So Arch apprenticeship is another one that is for 0 credit only, but Arch apprenticeship will not satisfy an upper division honors course requirement because you're not required to necessarily work on an independent research project or contribute to a mentor's ongoing work. It may be that you just started the training or you're shadowing a mentor in their lab. Maybe you have contributed ideas, but have not yet really been given the access to their literature or be able to collect your own primary base data. So I hope you will join me in the Arch breakout session later today. But now what I'd like to do is move on to the next slide and pass the mic over to our wonderful Honors College Study Abroad Program Coordinator, Ms. Nicole Patrick.
Thank you, Alan. And hi, everybody. Good morning. So there's different ways that you can earn your honors credits as we've been discussing. And so I want to highlight to you how you can earn them through our study abroad programs. So let's get into it. So we have a total of 10 faculty-led study abroad programs. So what that means is that our students travel as a group, between a group of 12 to 22 students to a different country for anywhere between 3 to 6 weeks with an FIU Honors College professor. So it's not like you're going by yourself or you're going to study at a university there. You're taking an FIU Honors College class and traveling as a group with your professor. So these courses, they're definitely, challenging. You're learning as you go. So it's a lot of experiential learning. So experiencing things, going to art museums and actually seeing the art firsthand instead of looking at it through a projector screen, and being able to discuss a little bit more about, why did they choose a certain lighting in that area? But that's like an example of maybe one of the things that you're looking into on one of the programs. And so we take care of booking pretty much everything. We take care of your accommodations while on the program, all the activities that you're doing. We also include your transportation within the program and any of the entrance fees to museums. And also you have your international travel insurance in case if there's ever an emergency or you may need to see a doctor. You're covered under FIU's insurance. So our mission is to create global citizens who are aware of the wider world and engage with their local and global communities with the belief that we can all make a difference. So if this is something that resonates with you, I hope that you'll consider studying abroad. And now let's get into where our programs are. So like I said, we have 10 programs, but we're definitely going to more countries than just 10. So we have Japan, Nepal, Ghana, Togo, Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, Spain, the United Kingdom, also Ireland, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Costa Rica, France, and Italy. So there are many different choices and many options for you. So I definitely encourage you to really look into each of our programs because each one is different to see, which is the program for you. So now what we offer, kind of like how it works. So they're offered in 2-semester programs, as mentioned previously. So you take a total of 2 courses. The first course takes place in the spring semester, and this is on campus. So you're meeting every week with your professor and classmates that you're traveling abroad with. And in this course, you're really learning the bulk of the material about the country, about the course focus, and you're doing a lot of the work, I guess you can say. And then in the summer is when you actually travel, and that's your second course. So that's when you're traveling for about a month with the group. Keep in mind there are assignments that you are doing while abroad, and definitely a project or 2 that you're also working on. So basically you're applying all of the information that you learned in the spring in the summer. And so it's a total of 2 courses, each 3 credits, so a total of 6 credits for an honors study abroad program. So if you're planning your honors courses, it is possible that you could do 2 study abroads to cover all of your credits needed to graduate through the honors college in terms of upper division credits. So now how it works. So there is an application process in order to participate in a study abroad program. So you would need to apply, and the process starts about a year in advance. So definitely with travel, there's a lot of planning involved, and that is also very much the case for study abroad. So once you're applied, accepted, all of that, next thing would be making payments for the programs. Unfortunately, travel is not free, but we do try our best to make the programs as economical as possible for our students. And so, and we have payment plans. So it's not like you're paying everything all at once. It's in installments throughout that year. Then through those payments, then the Honors College is able to start making all of the bookings for the group. Something to keep in mind is that the international airfare from Miami or wherever you're based is not included. So it is each student's responsibility to book their travel to the start of the program. So if your program starts in Rome, Italy, it's your responsibility to get there on the certain day and time in Rome, Italy. If you want to be traveling beforehand or you want to travel after the program ends, you can totally do that. That is up to you. And that's kind of why the airfare is not included. So it gives you that flexibility to, if you want to expand your travels, you can, or if there's a specific airline you want to use, or maybe you have points, or the list can go on, that you have that flexibility to do that. But just keep that in mind is that our programs don't include the airfare to the country and also back. Then the next thing is that you'll be enrolled in the courses, which are IDH 4007 for the spring and IDH 4008 for the summer. Then there is some additional application requirements since you are traveling abroad on behalf of FIU. We do make sure that all students visit the doctor before going, making sure that you have your passport up to date. And if you do need to apply for a visa to enter the country or countries that you're studying, that you start that process. So we truly try to help our students throughout that whole process and making sure that you have everything in on time. So you have a smooth experience traveling, and which that's the last thing is that you travel and learn. So that's kind of how study abroad works. Now getting into eligibility. So since there is an application, there are certain requirements that you do need to meet in order to be eligible to participate. One of them being in good honors standing. So, doing well in your honors courses and all of the things that Dr. Luna had previously explained to be in good honors standing. Having a minimum FIU GPA of 3.3. Participation must not delay your expected graduation date. So that's also really important in planning your time in the Honors College, is determining, when exactly it is the time for you to participate in a study abroad. Keep in mind that they take place in spring and summer. So you have to make sure you're not going to graduate before taking the summer course and participating in that. So definitely plan out your courses to have that, figured out. Then the last thing is participation must not cause excess credits, which is something we'll look into, but there's a certain threshold in the university in terms of credits that you can take before, you're expected to graduate. So that's one of the things we'll make sure that you do meet all of those requirements when you do apply. Now we're going to get a little bit more specific since we do have a few different populations of students today on our call. So first I'll start off with our current FIU students. So this means that you've already been taking classes at FIU and now you're just joining the Honors College in this fall semester. In your case, you can apply as soon as the fall semester starts. Then for our transfer students. So these are students who are coming in from a different institution and coming into FIU either this summer or fall, and will be joining the Honors College this fall. In your case, you can apply after your first semester at FIU. The reasoning for that is that you do need an FIU GPA in order to be eligible. Remember, we had that 3.3 requirement for GPA. So the reason for that is that we do want to ensure that you are, doing well with your classes on campus at FIU before having you take classes abroad. So you would need to complete your first semester at FIU prior to applying and prior to being eligible. So keep that in mind. Then for our final population is our first year students. So this is your first time in college. You're coming into FIU and also the Honors College for this fall. So in your case, it's recommended that you participate after your first year in honors. Keep in mind, you do need to be enrolled in IDH 1001 for the fall and IDH 1002 for the spring. So we want to ensure that you complete the lower division honors curriculum prior to getting into our upper division classes, which is study abroad, it is upper division. So keep that in mind. The good thing is that you do have time to start planning it out and starting to figure out, what is the study abroad you want to do. So that's, I guess, one of the benefits of that. And then also as a caveat for that, for our first year students who are entering with their AA degree, you're in a little bit of a different situation. For those students, you can apply after your first semester at FIU. So it's a similar situation to our transfer students. So you would need your FIU GPA in order to participate. So that's kind of the timeline with everything. Of course, if you have more specific questions as we go on, I'll be happy to answer. So now let's talk about costs. I know it's a little scary, but it's important to have this information before committing and before, signing up for a study abroad. So with study abroad, there are 3 costs associated with it. There's program cost, tuition, and education abroad fee. So 3 separate fees, basically. So the program cost includes all of your accommodations, the activities, your museum visits, etc. That's typically around $3,000 to $6,000, depending on the length of the program and the country or countries that you're going to. Okay. Then there's the tuition. So you are enrolled in for IDH 4007 for the spring and IDH 4008 for the summer. One of the benefits is that these courses are at the in-state tuition rate for all students. So if you're an international student or an out-of-state student, you would be paying in-state tuition rate for both the spring and the summer course. Then the final fee is the education abroad fee, which is an administrative fee of $195, and that's not exclusive to the Honors College. That's all around with all of the FIU study abroad programs. So with that in mind, there are scholarships available. I do highly encourage you to review all of the different scholarship options, and you can scan the QR code here on the bottom right of the screen to see more. in terms of what are the scholarships that are available, what are the eligibility requirements, and all of that. And then also for those of you who may have Florida Prepaid, Bright Futures, different scholarships or financial aid, those funding resources can go towards these fees. So keep that in mind. So in the case of, with all of those different fundings, it is important to communicate with our Office of Financial Aid as well as the Office of Scholarships to know exactly how much you're receiving and also when would that be dispersed. So that way you can meet deadlines in terms of for the study abroad fees to make sure that you are meeting, those deadlines for payments. But yes, those can be applied to these. So the rule of thumb is planning ahead with study abroad, as I've been mentioning. It is a big deal to travel abroad, and it's also another big deal to be traveling abroad on behalf of the university. So the rule of thumb is planning ahead with study abroad. And then I think on the next slide, I have some of the benefits of participating, just so that way you know. Well, one thing is you're getting to earn your honors credits while traveling. So you're not necessarily in a classroom while you're abroad. You're walking, you're experiencing, you're taking the public transportation in many of these different countries. So you're experiencing as you go. These programs are interdisciplinary, so it's not for any specific majors or anything like that. It's open to all students in the Honors College. So we have some programs that are a bit more focused on, the environment and sustainability, but if that isn't limiting just to, maybe biology students or marine biology students. No, that's open to any student in the Honors College. So you really get to choose, what is it that you're interested in. These experiences are also very unique. We do try our best to make them as, immersive as possible, whether that's through a homestay, but you're really trying to, or what we try to do is that you're living like a local, If the locals are taking the train to go, to the city, you're also taking the train to go to the city. It's not necessarily like a 5-star, resort experience, no, but you're really getting to understand how people live on other parts of the world. Another thing is that you do get to meet your classmates before you're traveling. So you have the entire spring semester together. So you're able to, get to know each other, maybe decide who's going to be your roommates. And then also you get to know your professor as well during that time. And that's unique to honors study abroad, and which those people most likely will be your friends for life. You have these unique experiences together that truly you're the only ones who relate to. So definitely lots of memories made. And I can say also for myself, I am very much still in contact with those that I traveled with about 5 years ago. Then final thing to talk, if you're wondering, how can this benefit me in the long run as well with study abroad, is that you're developing skills that can attract employers, and you're working on those soft skills that you don't necessarily get in a typical classroom setting. So, critical thinking, you might have to think on the spot as to, I'm talking a lot about trains, but what train you need to get on to go to your next destination, having to figure that out. Communication, you're traveling in a group, and also you may be traveling in a country that you're maybe not a native speaker of that language, which is okay. You don't need to speak the language to go, but it's learning how to figure that out. How can you communicate? And working as a team as well. Like I said, you're not traveling alone. So learning how to work with others and building that camaraderie within your group. So I really do hope that you all consider participating in a study abroad program. And I do have on this next slide a link to our Instagram page. So if you want to see a little bit more about what we're doing abroad and what is a day in the life like on a study abroad program, you could take a look at our Instagram. Lots of great resources there. It's also great form of communication because we'll send lots of updates on there in terms of application, when it's opening and all of that. So thank you all, and I will be hosting a breakout session later on this morning. And so if you're interested in learning more about study abroad, you can join. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. So I know that there's been a lot of information shared so far in terms of our curriculum about undergraduate research and study abroad. So we wanted to test your knowledge in relation to that. So if you could go to this link, which I will also post in the chat a link for you to go to. So let me in the chat so that you can test your knowledge. I'm going to give you all a few minutes to take it, and then I'm going to discuss the answers that you come up with. Let us discuss these questions. Okay, so and I also wanted to answer a couple of the questions that had been submitted in Q&A as I go along. So when it comes to the number of upper division courses that you need to complete, the answer is 4. So if you recall, Dr. Luna was talking to us about the curriculum. Those are the only folks who would be taking Intro to Honors, which is IDH 1931 or IDH 1001 in the fall semester are first time in college students, which means you just graduated from high school and you are starting with us in the fall semester. Everyone else, which includes our transfer students, our current FIU students who are now joining the Honors College, our incoming like freshmen who have an AA, like those of you will all be taking IDH 3034 in the fall semester. Okay, so all new students will be taking an IDH course in the fall semester. Now I know most of our first time in college students are enrolled in their appropriate 1931 or 1001 course. And that's great. I know that during the conversation we had discussed that there's some specific sections related to like pre-law, engineering, or business, that kind of thing. Those sections are already full. So if you are enrolled or in the courses that you need to enroll in, you're fine. You don't need to change anything in that sense. And then for those of you who are transfer students or current FIU students, you all will be, after this workshop is over and we've checked that you've done your checkpoints and everything, within the next 48 hours, you will receive access to enroll in your IDH 3034 class. So that means just make sure that you continue to do the different checkpoints that we have so that we can then give you access. You will receive an email from us, from HC Admissions, letting you know once you have access to enroll in your IDH 3034. So upper division courses, as we mentioned, you need 4 of them, right? So for those of you who are taking IDH 3034 for the first time in the fall semester, you will take an additional 3 upper division courses, which you heard that there are different options you can do. You could do all seminars, you could also decide to do study abroad, or you could do undergraduate research as well. So just know that for the fall semester, you will enroll in IDH 3034, and then the remaining options will come along as you discuss with your honors advisor. So as I mentioned, those are the different options that you can use towards the curriculum at the upper division level. You can do your seminars, which we showed you a couple of the different topics that exist with the seminar. There are usually about 70 different topics in a given fall or spring semester. The only difference between IDH 3034 and 3035 is the semester in which it is offered. So in the fall semester, you will only find IDH 3034. In the spring semester, you will only find IDH 3035. One is not a prerequisite to the other. You just enroll in those semesters, and you can take them both multiple times. So you could do 3034 several times as well as 3035. But just know that you need 4 upper division courses, and it can be any combination of seminars, study abroad, and undergraduate research. The other question is, what minimum GPA must students need to maintain in honors college, right? So we need a 3.3 at least. So now you're starting in the honors college. At the end of every semester, our advisors will review your GPA, your standing, to make sure that you are where you need to be. And as discussed earlier, if you happen to fall below a 3.3 for the first time, you will be placed on probation and given the opportunity to work with your advisor, your honors advisor, to help you increase your GPA to where it needs to be. So those were the specific questions that were asked during the Test Your Knowledge. And hopefully, you did get a copy of that. If not, that's okay. We just like to make sure that you all submit what needs to be submitted. So that being said, I wanted to turn the floor over to Andrea Quadra, our career specialist, so that she can chat with you all about the Career Center and the wonderful things that we are doing.
Thank you, Dr. Hooker. Hi, everybody. I'm going to be talking to you about services, resources that we have to offer you at our Career Center. The QR code you're seeing on the screen is not a checkpoint. It's actually a QR code to our Honors College Career Center webpage, which I will also place in the link in the chat. So feel free to peruse while I talk about some services, resources, and requirements. So let's get started with the next slide. All right. So as Dr. Luna mentioned earlier, you all have the benefit of having your own career center within the Honors College. That's added value for you as an Honors College student because you have access to your own career coach, which means we get to have one-to-one career coaching appointments, which are a little bit different than other career coaching appointments across campus. With the Honors College Career Center, our career coaching appointments last for 1 hour, while the typical career coaching session on campus typically lasts 30 minutes. And so we get that, double the time to talk about your career goals, questions you may have, prep you for interviews, and make sure that you have a strategy in place to achieve those goals. In addition to that, every fall and spring, we have our resume review drop-in program. That means that you're able to drop by virtually on Zoom or in person here at the Honors College to get your resume reviewed by one of our student assistants. They are trained and equipped to give you feedback that will help you improve your resume so that you can secure an interview. In addition to that, we offer every semester career workshops that really are meant for you to get career ready. So it exposes you on how to write a resume, on how to interview, how to search for jobs or internships strategically and efficiently as possible. And with that, we also love to collaborate with employers. So every fall and spring, we host lunch and learns with various employers in different industries. And so that gives you the unique opportunity to network with employers that want to hire you. And we've actually this current summer, from a lunch and learn in spring, one of our students was able to, land an internship with that employer this summer. So that's really exciting. And then lastly, a great opportunity for all of you to attend our industry talk. So that's where we invite alumni or employers in the field that you see yourself going into one day, be able to give you feedback on what helped them when they were in school so that you can sort of learn from their journey, and you also get to network with them after. So those additional talks are really valuable. In addition to our services, we host many different resources depending on what you're looking for. So on that QR code or in the link I dropped in the chat, you have access to all of these, which include a template for improving your resume. It has very clear guidance and advice on how to write a really good resume, in addition to a separate template for cover letters, a guide that really provides you an overview on these two type of documents and how to structure them. We also have a guide on how to prepare for interviews that breaks down what to expect, how to prepare, and how to answer those questions. And then a great tool at FIU that we have available with our FIU student credentials is the linked learning platform. So in our resources page on our Career Center website, we have a linked learning course guide that lets you view specific videos to improve the skills that employers are looking from you and expecting from you. In addition to like the workshops that I host year round, if you can't make one of those, I've recorded my most popular ones that you can watch on demand on your own time. And then we love to make sure that y'all are aware of the different opportunities that are available for you, whether it's part-time jobs or internships, or even on-campus jobs. And every 2 weeks, we send out a bi-weekly career newsletter so that you're aware of these opportunities, and then you can also keep up with different tips that we are promoting on there. So lots to look forward to in terms of resources. I do want to take a little bit of time talking about experiential learning. Many of you probably have experience in volunteering or doing academic projects, or maybe even traveling domestically or abroad. And experiential learning is very important for you while you're in school, but it has a great impact on you, especially when you're trying to search for a full-time job after college. So experiential learning is essentially applying what you're like learning in the classroom in the real world. So that can be through service, that can be through studying abroad, through research, or through internships or part-time or full-time job. And there's research that shows that like students who participated in any of those types of experiential learning actually have higher rates of career satisfaction because they got exposure to the industry and got to know more about what it was. They have a higher average starting salary because they're getting that experience while they're still in school. And they also have higher rates of mentorship and networking, again, because you're being exposed so early on to leaders in your industry who want to help you. So experiential learning is very important while you're still at FIU, and I encourage everybody to participate in some form of it because it has a really great impact on you after graduation. And I'm going to talk about one specific form of experiential learning, which is called micro internships. So full-time internships can take up to 12 to 16 weeks, right? You're immersed 40 hours a week during that short-term period. There's micro internships, which are, yes, short-term projects that are paid and professional. So essentially, employers have these needs or projects that they really need to meet, and that's where they're enlisting you as a college student to help them complete these short-term paid professional projects. This is the most accessible way to get experience, especially if you don't have any experience and you're looking to get some. Micro internships are great because besides being 100% paid, 99.9% of them are remote, meaning that you can do this at your own time so that it's very flexible to complete with your course load in fall or spring or summer. So I'm going to post the link in the chat, but we can move on to the next slide so I can talk a little bit more. So there's different projects that employers need help with when it comes to micro internship projects. They really know that Gen Z is savvy with technology, with social media, so they need a lot of help with content creation for their business or with website development, looking at who their competition is and maybe asking you to do an analysis to see where their gaps are in their business. Being able to look at different data reports and analyze what may be going on for them and summarize that to them. So there's different kinds of projects, which is really cool. I will say that the employer's needs vary, so you won't always find the same project posted twice, which is interesting. And even if you don't find something related to your major, think of it as improving your skill sets, right? So it was mentioned like that soft skills were mentioned earlier, but you're also, in addition to working on like soft skills in your micro internship, you're also working on those hard skills. So it's a great combination to develop your communication, your critical thinking, your professionalism, amongst other skills through this kind of experience. And so I definitely encourage you all to get started with micro internships. The QR code will lead you to the same page I posted in the chat with the link to the micro internships page. You're going to create your account and make sure that you also fill out your profile. On your profile page, there's going to be at the bottom an affiliation tab where you get to add your affiliation and as an honors college student, because we do have employers that from time to time only want to work with our honors college students, which is great because that puts you at a great advantage over other students. That way, when you complete your profile and add your affiliation with the honors college, you're able to then see what micro internships are available, and you can start getting a better idea of, oh, okay, this is something I see myself doing. And be really intentional with like reading the job description, making sure that you're going to be fully invested because employers are counting on you once they do hire you for that micro internship. And I recommend that you all apply to as many as possible because that will only increase your chances of actually landing a micro internship project. So just a little challenge for you today. In addition to creating your profile and adding your affiliation, apply to at least 3 projects before you go to bed tonight. It's really interesting because you're not submitting a resume when you apply, you're answering questions. So those questions have to be very well written and thought out so that you can stand out against the competition. So go ahead and apply to those projects before you go to bed tonight and try to complete 1 micro internship before the end of summer so you can start your fall semester with already an experience added to your resume. All right, so now I'm going to talk about the Panther Career Readiness Requirement, which you may have already heard of before, but essentially this is a state of Florida requirement. So every new student at any Florida state school has to complete this. And what this looks like at FIU is completing 4 steps. And you're seeing them outlined here. And you can scan the QR code, which will lead you to the page with more information. I'll also put the link in the chat. But we're going to break down all these steps one by one. So let's move forward with the first step. So step 1 is claiming your Handshake account and completing your profile. So this is kind of similar with what we were talking about with micro internships. But instead, you're doing this with Handshake. So I'm going to post the link to Handshake. You're going to go and log in there with your student credentials. You are going to get an email through your FIU email account from Handshake, and you're just going to confirm that. Once you're able to confirm and log into Handshake, you're going to go ahead and fill out your profile. It's similar to like a LinkedIn. Employers do look at your Handshake profile, so it's important to add any work experience, any organizations, and especially skills. Do add skills because that is part of step 1 as well. So once you complete step 1, we're going to go ahead and move to step 2, which is taking the Go to the next slide, please. Step 2 is completing the module course through FIU Develop. So this is separate from Handshake. You're going to go to develop.fiu.edu, or you can also scan the QR code you're seeing here on the screen and log in with your FIU student credentials. You're going to find on your dashboard the course called Panther Career Readiness Module, and you're going to start that. Note that you can come back to this course if you started it and need to pause or take a break. You can always come back to continue the course. And in that course, they're going to guide you to this step 3, which is reviewing your major's salary information. So in that course, you're going to get to a certain part of the module where it's going to have you go to this link. You could also scan the QR code as well, where you're going to review the My Florida Future tool. This is a tool from the state of Florida where any student can review the salary information associated with their major after the 1, 5, and 10-year mark. So this is pulling data from alumni in your major and what they're earning at the 1, 5, and 10-year post-graduation mark. And then lastly, which the module will also guide you, is to the last step. And that means completing an attestation that you have completed the module on your own merit and you're affirming that with your name below. After that, it can take about up to 72 hours for that requirement to be completed. And that's really important because we want to complete this state requirement as soon as possible. And we'll tell you why on the other slide. Students will have to complete this during their first year of enrollment, because if you do not, you will have a hold in place for spring 2026, and that hold will prevent you from enrolling in summer and fall 2026 courses. So my advice is for you all to complete this by the end of this upcoming fall so that you have no hold to worry about when it comes to enrolling in summer and fall 2026 courses. If you do have any questions about this requirement or you need help with that, make sure you email panther.ready@fiu.edu. They'll be able to assist you more. And I also want to highlight one specific resource that we really use at our Career Center and that has been a game changer for students, which is VMOC Smart Career Platform. So many employers are utilizing AI in this day and age to scan the thousands of resumes that they receive for one job posting. So FIU has also gone ahead and offered AI to help students when it comes to their resume, when it comes to their cover letter, their LinkedIn profile, helping them prepare their elevator pitch or even practice their interviewing skills. So this AI called VMOC is very helpful because you can access this tool 24/7 and you can see what kind of feedback it's giving you on all these different documents, elevator pitch and mock interviewing skills that you're going to need to practice before graduation. And there's different QR codes depending on your major. I'll also paste the link so that you can access the specific VMOC link that matches your major as well in the chat. All right, if you need any more career resources, just visit the webpage there or scan the QR code on the screen, and there's a plethora for you to explore. And now I'll hand it back to Dr. Hecker.
Hello. So our student engagement manager is not here. So I'm going to be chatting with you all about student engagement. Again, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. And that way we can go ahead and get started. Oh, I did want to mention when it comes to the Panther Career Readiness module, For those of you who are current FIU students, you more than likely have already done this. So you don't have to worry about it. You know, if you already did it, you're good to go. This is for students who are new to FIU, which is our incoming freshman students and our incoming transfer students who have to be concerned with taking care of that module. Okay. So let's chat a little bit about student engagement, what's happening, what's going on, what some of the requirements are, that kind of thing. And so engagement, all of our students are required to complete our Honors College Engagement Pathway, which are various activities, and I'll explain the different types of categories in a moment. And they're also required to volunteer in the local community. So that local community could be in maybe if you are an international student, it could be back in your own country. It could be, you know, if you're a fully online student, it could be where you are right now. Whatever that is, that could be what your local community is. So when it comes to our engagement requirements, you're going to be able to look in Panther Connect to find this pathway. You'll be added probably in the next couple weeks as new students so that you'll be able to see it once you log in. So essentially, we track engagement and service between the beginning of Summer B, which this year was June 23rd, through May 1st. So when I mentioned that you need to complete 11 activities and 20 volunteer hours, you have probably a good 10 months or so to complete this. Please do not procrastinate and leave it to the very end because it can be overwhelming if you're trying to complete final exams, etc. But 20 service hours is maybe like half an hour a week. And we know we spend more time on our phones than half an hour, right? So for the engagement pathway, there are 6 categories. One is Honors College Week, which we do host an Honors College Week in the fall and one in the spring. So you just need to attend one event, whatever that might be for you. You know, it could be the pinning ceremony, it could be a football game, it could be a social, whatever that might be. And we always host at least one online event that students can participate in during those weeks. The remaining 5 categories, you need to complete 2 activities for each of them. And I say activities because it's not just events. You have the opportunity to make use of the resources on campus to help you with this. So, for example, like meeting with your professor, you know, like during office hours, that can count towards academics, or visiting the Center for Academic Success, or meeting with a college life coach, or a financial wellness coach, or using the Healthy Living Program. So there are a lot of items that are not necessarily events, although events certainly can count towards these particular categories. So let's discuss a little bit more here. So you can attend these events, and when you attend an event, we need to make sure to have some respect for the host, right? Although you are ultimately attempting to get credit for attending the event for your honors pathway, you know, it's not a good idea to constantly ask like how they'll be taking attendance or where you can get credit. Generally, hosts will take attendance at the beginning or at the end of the program, and just make sure that you do the attendance. And then now, my recommendation for you is whatever it is that you do, even if they take attendance, I recommend taking pictures of yourself in that specific event, just in case, because there are times where the hosts do not upload events to Panther Connect or attendance to Panther Connect, and then it's not appearing on your pathway. But as long as you have documentation that you have attended these events and whatnot, just, you know, send that on to HC Engage so that we can review that. There are plenty of events in Panther Connect. That is definitely a platform that you're going to want to log into and use. There are also events posted in our Next Week in Honors newsletter, events and or service opportunities, that are shared. So keep that in mind. And if you have any questions, about these specific events or opportunities or how to go about finding them, feel free to email hcengage at fiu.edu any questions so that they can answer that. So in terms of getting a head start, it is important if you have never logged into Panther Connect before, to go ahead and do that. So what you'll do is just go to pantherconnect.fiu.edu and log in with your FIU credentials. You'll need to have logged in at least once in order for us to add you to the pathway. Okay, so something you can do really quickly now if you have that opportunity in the moment. So then when it comes to service requirements, you'll need to do 20 volunteer hours every academic year. So our engagement and service is an annual requirement. So these 20 volunteer hours can be done virtually, they can be done in person, they can be done with almost any nonprofit organization, maybe a house of worship that you currently volunteer with. There are so many things that you can do. It's difficult sometimes to just like list everything, right? Many of our student organizations also have service activities. So if you're a member of any club or organization, attending those events would certainly count towards that. So we log events, or you will be logging your volunteer hours in GivePulse, right? So GivePulse is where you're going to be providing your documentation, etc. So if you go, let's say you help at your high school, like over the summer, you help some teachers like move in their stuff and that kind of thing, like just make sure that you have some kind of document, perhaps a letter or a chart or some kind of form that says like you spent however many hours doing X thing. And that's something that you would be able to upload in GivePulse for review. So if you decide not to upload a document and instead use the verifier, so let's say you volunteered with this teacher, you can put the teacher's name and email address as the verifier, but until they verify that, you will not receive credit. And we cannot help you because you don't have any documentation of your activity, right, or your volunteering hours. The volunteer hours, keep in mind, do not need to be related to FIU or the Honors College. It can be, but as I mentioned, you could do other things in your local community, whether that's like volunteering with the Humane Society, or working with animals, or working with children or the elderly, like whatever it is that you have a passion for and an interest in. So keep that in mind. One thing also to keep in mind, donating to specific drives is not volunteer hours for us. So we're not saying you cannot do that, like that you cannot donate like food to a food drive or clothing to a clothing drive or anything like that, but those will not count towards your 20 volunteer hours. If you would like to, let's say, organize a drive, maybe maybe it is a toy drive or the clothing drive or the food drive, whatever type of drive, like you could use those volunteer hours in that way, by documenting like how much time it took you like to market it, to collect, to deliver, that type of thing. But the actual donating of items is not included in these 20 service hours. So think in advance about what you are interested in doing or what you'd like to donate your time to so that you can plan ahead. Something to keep in mind, for those of you who are interested in like medical school, that kind of thing, health related programs, competitive individuals or applicants usually have at least or on average 480 community service hours. Okay, so these 20 volunteer hours that you're doing for us each year can count towards that larger 480, but you know, it's important for us to give back to our community in whatever way that might be. So this is one way of contributing to those hours, for example. And when you log in to give polls, that too is using your FIU credentials. So pretty much everything is with your FIU credentials. As long as you know how to log in with your email, you'd be able to do that. So honors student organizations, we have several of them. Some related to your particular career fields, others related more to interests. So like our hearts organizations, like a crochet club, we have a photography club, even a writing club. But then we also have like a pre-law organization and a pre-health organization, that kind of thing. So if you find that when you look in Panther Connect, which is also the place to find student organizations on campus, if you look in there and you don't find anything that you're interested in, and you look at our website and you see that there isn't really any organization you're interested in, and you have an interest in some specific topic, you could start your own organization, right? So that's something that you can consider. Generally speaking, when you're trying to start your own organization, you need at least 10 people with you in order to do that. So that's something to consider. We also have a makerspace. This is the Edge Lab. So the Edge Lab is a wonderful resource that you have. It's actually open to all FIU students, but even more so in our area. So if you have an interest in using a 3D printer or any kind of vinyl cutters, embroidery, AV, etc., this is a wonderful opportunity for you. If you're going to be living on campus in Parkview, Parkview has also an Edge Lab, a mini Edge Lab there that you can use as well. So definitely, if this is something that you might be interested, getting involved with the Edge Lab, even volunteering, all of that could count towards that. So there is a question here about, so let's say in a given year, your service hours, or you have like 80 service hours. That 80 for that given year is not going to be shared across all of the years that you're in the Honors College. So it means that every year you're with the Honors College, you need to complete at least 20 volunteer hours. So if you did 80 one year, 20 another year, 40 in a different year, like that's fine. You need at least 20 in a given academic year. The same thing with our engagement pathway. You have these 11 activities. These 11 activities are done like each year. So you will change that up as you, as you progress and that kind of thing. So again, engagement and service is an annual requirement. You will have, well, you can already start doing things in the summer. Let's say if you wanted to start working on some things before the beginning of the fall semester, if you wanted to volunteer or start doing any of these activities, you can certainly start doing that earlier before even the fall begins. Those of you who, well, eventually you're going to be graduating. So when you are graduating in that semester, you will be notified like that there's an earlier deadline, let's say. So something that is something that you're going to be working on. If you decide not to do your engagement and service, that can affect your priority registration for non-graduation years, and also potentially affect your transcript notation at graduation. So make sure that you keep this in mind and work on your particular activities and volunteer hours as the year progresses. There is generally some progress report communications that will occur during the year. So maybe like in December, like in the halfway point, and then maybe 2 or 3 times during the spring semester, so that you know where you're at in terms of engagement and service, whether you have done nothing or if you've completed some or if you completed everything. So obviously being able to complete things even earlier is a great thing. You could decide. I always encourage students to start working on things to get at least halfway through during the fall semester. So, for example, maybe you decide, okay, I'm going to focus on my engagement pathway in the fall and then my volunteer hours in the spring, or vice versa. Or you could decide, okay, I'm going to do maybe half my activities in the fall, half my volunteer hours, like 10 at least in the fall, and then you do the other half in the spring. That way you can spread things out and maybe not seem as overwhelming to you when you do that. And again, if you have any questions about this, feel free to email hcengage@fiu.edu so that we can answer your questions. And here is the email.